Hey buddy, so I'm gonna come back at you and pick up from where I left off. I was talking about how I got into internet porn, but when I say that, I don't mean just like Pornhub. I mean I started looking into the one night stand, sex ads, man. After that shit went sour on with the girl online who was in Africa. I went to the Portland classifieds just to try to hook up and just get some pussy, man. I was hurt and really just wanted to be with a woman. And in the course of that, I encountered a lot of different. I mean, I got a pretty good visual and inner workings of how the online prostitution business works, and just how all these different avatars and the games they use and the words they play, and all that. And I spent a good couple of weeks just being kind of consumed by finding some pussy, and eventually I did. Eventually I did. She was actually a very normal, larger, like everyday. She had her own house. Like, wasn't a drug addict or anything like that. Just, a relatively very normal person. It's very kind of strange, actually. And, we did our thing, and it was all right. But, afterwards, I did feel kind of sick and just kind of gross and grossed out by it. And in doing that, this is why sex is, spiritually speaking, so important because, when you lay with somebody like that, especially, I think if you're not using a condom or just in general, just laying with them like that, it's very intimate. And I kissed her too. We kissed. So, there's that. When the mouths connect like that, it's just more of a connection. But in doing that act, there's a very intimate connection just in that. And your souls are they're getting to know each other. So spiritually speaking, based on your energetic vibration and pattern, you got demons, she got demons, you got angels, they got angels. They're going to work with each other. So whatever demons she has, they're going to work with the demons you have, and vice versa with the angels. So when you sleep with people, when you have sex with them, it really is a sacred exchange of energy for a good reason, because you literally are exchanging the energy they have and who they are with who you are. So if somebody's got some seriously sick spirits or some seriously good spirits, based on whatever level of ability is capable to deliver, those things, they're going to be delivered in the appropriate manner. So, that happened. And after I had that one night stand, like I said, there was some other girls that were kind of interested because I built up some momentum because I put some good interest into it, but I just wasn't feeling it anymore. And then I also, on top of that, in that whole thing, I had got received an audition to potentially be a porn star and or an actor, and I thought about it for a night, man. I really did. I slept on it, and I woke up the next day, and I was like, nope, not doing it. This was at the time I was watching a lot of Nature Boy, or had been, so I knew his experience, as a male entertainer, and it did get him out of a really tough position. Now I do think he also acquired or absorbed a lot of nasty shit along the process, but you got to do what you got to do sometimes. However, his situation was much more. I don't know exactly what the hell he was going through, but from what he's shared, and I remember he was on the streets and he never really had a family like I had a family, so I can't. I'm not gonna judge him. I mean, he did what he had to do, and he got through. He got through it, and he's helped me out with. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't be making videos if it wasn't for Nature Boy. Subscribing to me back in the day. So thank you, Nature Boy. I hope you're doing all right, man. If you haven't watched this, but anyway. So going back to the story, I decided not to take the porn interview and even send him an email back and this and that. And then about that time is when I got into Ted Gunderson, who I shared on one of my videos already, and he was a former, I think, FBI director, and he also worked with security with governors and high, I think high military or security forces. I don't exactly remember, but he had some very, very, very good, intangible, successful connections and credentials. Some very powerful people in play, and he was privy to a lot of information that a lot of us would not be able to see. And based on what he saw, he was led to share the corruption that he witnessed with the world. And a lot of his whole thing that broke him down was the schools. There's one video, I don't know if you guys watched it, but it was a case he was working on, and what he basically found out, without being able to prove it to a T, because it was all very speculative, but that somebody, some way, had devised a tunneling system or some type of, I think it was a tunneling system that led from a house, like not too far away, down underground into the school where kids go and play and learn and da-da-da-da. And, it was, like I said, I don't think anything was officially approved, because by the time, wind was found on what was going on, the enemy caught wind and fucking broke tail. But it was discovered that, it was very suspicious. It's like having the evidence without actually having the evidence. That there was literally a tunnel into the school leading to a house where they were doing all sorts of sick shit with kids. When he found that out, and then based on the fact that, agencies above his and around his and in his were not cooperating the way that he thought a good, law enforcement agency should corrupt when they see clear signs of fucking child trafficking into a school. And the whole way it went down is like people in the school, probably would have had to have known about this. So it's like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, this is really disgusting on multiple different levels. And I'm pretty sure it was that incident in particular that led him to do what he did and share his testimony online. And thank God he did, because, it's a very powerful message that I think anybody should look at, whether you have kids or not. This is the type of shit that's running the system right now. And this is back in 1984, almost 40 years ago. So they've had a lot of time to build up powers since then. But anyway, I kind of want to get back to what I want to talk about with Joy. So I carried on, and in doing that, okay, well, I got to talk about it. So, all right, I went through the Ted Gunderson thing, and then that led me to, this whole pizza fucking child ring shit, and I started getting deeper into that, and even some of the Facebook people, and when you dive into this whole pedophile thing, man, it is disgusting. Like, when you go into it with eyes, like, this is fucking evil, straight up in your face, preying on fucking youth and innocence, and doing some really foul stuff. It has an effect on you, especially, I paid it a lot of attention too, because I was like, this is fucking baffling, and they're doing it right in front of our fucking faces, and I was still drinking at the time, and I was still watching porn, so, while trying to investigate this pedophile shit. So it's like, and then I was also still on my righteous mission. It's like all these things are working together and creating this thing that is me. So like when those photos that she brought up last night, looking at those, I'll be honest, man, I was taken back. Like, I was like, wow, that is a very creepy looking dude. I mean, a lot of it had to do with the way that the light was coming down. You couldn't see my eyes, but still, the energetic vibration that I got from myself seeing it, I think it was, 5 years ago, was fucking disgusting. It was, I don't know, disgusting. It was there was a darkness that's like torture, depravity. Like, I see it. I saw it very clearly, and it's crazy now because at the time, I was doing pretty good in my life. Actually, I wasn't drinking or doing any hard drugs. I was just smoking weed. I mean, at that time that those pictures were taken, that was right about the time that I was trying to join TLC with 13. And I'd been I think away from alcohol and hard drugs for 2 years, and I'd been running a lot, and I was in really good physical shape, and writing and reading every day, and so I was feeling pretty good about life. But even still, that the torture in my soul, the war, I still had the war in my heart. I still really hadn't found peace. I still really hadn't found contentment. I still really didn't know what the fuck I was going to do with my life or how I was going to fulfill my mission. So, and on top of all the drugs that I've done for years, and the pain, and, the reclusiveness, and just the chaos of not knowing, and the yearning for fights, but not knowing what this fight really is for, or even what fight I'm supposed to be in, and, just a lot of crazy shit, was going on with me at that time. So, that all has an effect on your face and the contours of your being and the vibrational frequency that you resonate at and are. So, there's as I said in the video I made a while back, man, good deeds, help breed good looks. So that's why it's like, it really isn't all about your genetics as much as people think. It's really about how you are, who you are, what type of energy and activity you're putting out into the ethers, because that comes back at you, and that also helps design you. So yeah, we're getting close to the 10-minute mark, but I'm just gonna stop it here and say these last words. And I'm gonna come back with some more videos in maybe a few hours, but I should be. I've written some good stuff today, so I want to share that. But we'll see when it happens. But I do want to say, like, based on the stuff that I heard last night, she essentially, put a hex on somebody. Don't know who. I feel like I was involved in this practice to a lesser or greater degree. I don't know. What I have to say about that is my knowledge that whether or not one is cursed does not mean they will actually receive the curse as the one who cast the spell intended. That is up to the Most Highs. John Ramirez, he used to be a Satanist, Satan fucking worshiper and worker. Really only because he didn't know God really existed. Once he found out God existed, and the reason how he found God existed is because he put a curse and a hex on somebody that should have killed him straight up. I think he might have even tried it twice. But the point of the story is he invested. He was a very powerful warlock, whatever you want to call it, evil demon fucking worker, doing witchcraft, voodoo, all sorts of sick shit on people. And he was told to strike this person down, and he did all the things that he usually does to strike people down, and they usually fall down, and this person did not fall down. So he goes and he asks his boss, Satan, why? Satan's like, well, really ain't up to me, man. It's up to him. Most High. It's up to Pops. Okay? So if you in good league with the Most Highs, if you righteous, if you're doing good, you have protection. But if you fucking up, you're doing a foul, you ain't learning, you ain't growing, you ain't catching the signs, who knows, maybe it'll be your time. But for me, I'm good with where I'm at. So I don't know what type of threats and fears you're trying to instill here, but they are not going to be victorious. So anyways, I hope you guys are all doing well, and all right, I'll come back at you with some more. Love y'all. Bye.